Hi, welcome back to the Ruby Tuesday. My name's Ruben. This is my review for episode 5 of season 3 of The Wheel of Time, Tel'aran'rhiod. I'm excited to talk about this one. Has a different feel. I'm going to do non-spoilers, of course, because it doesn't drop until tomorrow, but I've double-checked my embargoes. I have written to the PR company that's dealing with it in the UK, and they've given me the press back and the go-ahead to review, because that embargo for the episodes, that at least in the UK, has been lifted. So let's talk about it. This episode is directed by Marta Cunningham, and Egwene must learn to control the dream world known as Tel'aran'rhiod. Meanwhile, Matt, Nynaeve, Min, and Elaine set sail to search for Lindren and her Black Archer acolytes. The White Cloaks continue to pose a threat to the two rivers, leading Perrin to consider the best ways to protect his homeland. Lanfear reveals her true feelings for Rand. Where we had Moraine seeing a thousand turns of the wheel, it was interesting, the different dynamics that we were seeing, the possibilities of what could have been, what might have been, and what could be, all, just going through it. Once we're in that huge set pieces that looked beautiful, it was a very consistent pacing. This time around, it slowed much more, because this is basically a cultivation, a growing of some of the characters, much needed time for the characters to grow. So a lot of the characters are on journeys here. And we get a little bit of a training montage, which is pretty cool to watch, and people trying to control what they've been given. But the focus on this episode is relationships. And I love the bits that we get in this. It's showcasing, even though it's a slower pacing, it's showcasing where our characters have come from. We get a lot of dialogue here about broken relationships and what could be. We even get, with the training montage, a development of sorts, showing us where this particular series has gone and where it's going to go. The reveal at the end is a big drop as well, which I won't go into, but there is a big kind of mic drop moment as a character comes to an understanding of what's actually going on. That is all the backdrop for the main arc, which is a rescue. So while we have a montage, a training montage of sorts, and our characters having growth moments because of the journeys they are currently on, there's a definite pacing downstep. However, to juxtaposition that, we do get a bit of a rescue, and there's some decent action sequences using the One Power in ways I still haven't seen yet. We've seen them be quite creative with the One Power. I love the special effects in this episode when we do see it. Some of that journeying with a couple of our characters that are on a journey, we get to see the One Power used in a way that is beautiful, mesmerizing, and also kind of revealing to the story points as we've understood certain things to be true, and yet we're now understanding that the truths that we've been told aren't exactly that. The costume design, again, I think is something that people really appreciate here. They've been knocking it out of the park with each episode. Because the previous episode had so many different iterations, we saw Moraine in various outfits that looked really interesting. Same with most of the characters. This time around, there isn't that much to choose of, but the difference in costumes that we do get really accentuate what's going on in the moment. Especially with a certain training montage, there's a moment where a character has a different armor set that I really appreciated at how they showed that, but not used it as a get out of jail free card, rather just things of what could be seen in the future. I think they really nailed this episode because they knew it was going to be a step down in pacing from what the last episode was. They really gave us time to have that dialogue with characters that are a much needed rest. So there is heightened tension, there is action, there is great special effects with the One Power being used in ways that I hadn't seen yet previously. I thought it was beautifully done. And then there are some wonderful reveals in this episode that I think will keep you guessing if you haven't read the books, but if you've seen the reveals of how they've done it, again, this is such a mix mash of the books that diehard fans of the books will probably be disappointed. However, if you do like what they've done with it so far, you're going to enjoy this episode. It could be easy to think that this episode doesn't further the major arc of the story, but it does. Even though the pacing stops, there's so much revealed within each character moment that it feels like we are drawing them together much closer or much sooner than it will be. We only have 3 episodes left after the 5th. And I think people will come to really appreciate what they've done with the relationships in this episode. So let me know, what is your favorite episode so far of the season? What are you hoping will happen in the subsequent episodes? Are you looking forward to watching the rest? Let me know your thoughts down below. I would love to know who in this iteration, the adaptation, is your favorite character. Who do you think they've done justice to? And if you haven't read the books, who's your favorite character? I know a lot of people will say Moraine or Perrin, but maybe you're rooting for Rand. You want to see what he does at the end. Thanks so much for watching, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.